This episode of Beauté by ABIC podcast was brought to you by Mara Aesthetics.
Hello and welcome to the Beauté by ABIC podcast, your online support community for the aesthetic and beauty industry. Here, we are strengthening and unifying the industry through representation, innovation, and education. This is a platform created and dedicated to the aesthetic and beauty industry, valuing unity and advancement. We serve to represent, support, and inspire you by connecting you with industry experts, expanding your knowledge through educational pieces, and bringing you the latest industry news. This is Beauté by ABIC.
Today's guest is Dr. Konstantin Sulamanidze from Mara Aesthetics. Dr. Konstantin is an esteemed plastic aesthetic reconstructive surgeon, dermatologist, and cosmetologist. He is also a co-author of Aptos methods. Dr. Konstantin hails from the Republic of Georgia and is the son of Georgian plastic surgeon, Dr. Marlen Sulamanidze, inventor of the Aptos thread lifting methods. As an active member of several international societies, including the International Society of Plastic Surgeons, International Society of Plastic Aesthetic Reconstructive Surgeons, the Society of Plastic Aesthetic and Reconstructive Surgeons of Georgia, Dr. Konstantin has conducted over 8,000 successful surgeries. With more than 400 training courses on the Aptos thread lifting methods in over 70 countries, Dr. Konstantin's contributions to the field have been recognised through the publication of more than 50 scientific papers, including leading international journals. In 2015, he was awarded winner of the Anti-Aging Beauty Trophy for the best clinical case. Here to teach us all about Aptos thread lifting methods for Mara Aesthetics today, we welcome Dr. Konstantin Sulamanidze. Welcome, Dr. Konstantin, to the Beauté by ABIC podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me here. It's a big pleasure, and I'm happy to answer to all your questions and to explain everything about thread lifting today.
Thank you. Well, we're very excited that you are speaking to us, and you're in Sydney, come all the way from Georgia, and we'd love to know, before we jump into what is thread lifting, a little bit more about you. Can you give us a little bit more about your background and how you came to be an expert in thread lifting?
Yeah, I had a long flight from Georgia here. It's my second time this time. First time it was in 2018. And I'm really impressed with Australia and people here, nature. It's amazing. It's just fantastic. And I want to thank to Mara Aesthetics, Mara and her team having me here. I'm a plastic surgeon from Georgia. I'm a reconstructive surgeon, but I also do injections sometimes in some patients. And of course, I love thread lifting because my father invented thread lifting 25 years ago. And now we are the holders of the company, and also that we have a lot of trainers, and we are trainers, and we move all over the world to train doctors to show these methods and share our experience to everybody.
That's incredible, sharing your knowledge with the entire globe. So, sure. Dr. Konstantin, can you tell us what is a thread lift?
Thread lift is a minimal invasive procedure. It's a non-surgical procedure, but it's a little bit more than regular injections. We don't need a surgical department or hospital for this procedure. It's enough to do this procedure only in a procedures room or dermatologist's room or even in an operation room. This procedure needs local anesthesia. We don't need something more. It's quite comfortable for the patient. Normally, this procedure needs around 30 to 40 minutes for full face rejuvenation with Aptos threads. And the idea of the thread lifting is a special barb and design. This is a special design of the barbs on the suture. And this bar holds tissues, and we can lift these tissues in any direction. We can make some reposition and create some volume in some cases when we really need it. So we can use these threads mainly for the face, but in some indications, in some cases, we can use these threads for the body too.
That's incredible. Lifting is so difficult out of all of the different procedures that are available on the in the aesthetic market, I should say. Lifting is the most challenging. What would you say the difference is between thread lifting and using a device for lifting?
I think now thread lifting is just separate direction in aesthetic medicine. You can't compare it with any other procedure. Of course, it's not any competition with any other procedure too. We can make everything in complex, and we should think about patient in complex when we think about rejuvenation, because this process is big. It happens in different layers. Sometimes we need more caring of the skin. Sometimes we need more volumization, and in some cases we need lifting. That's why nowadays machines are great, and they can work. They can give us great results, but it's not alternative to some other things like threads. So we are combining. In case of volumization, we can use fillers or sometimes threads, but we can combine them. In some cases, we can use radio frequency together with threads, but in separate procedures. We usually separate these procedures for 1 month. And of course, we can use toxins together with all of this. So I think in combination, it always works much, much better.
That's fantastic. And Dr. Konstantin, can you explain to us in detail, how thread lifting actually works?
So how I told, it's a special bar material, and it catches tissues of the face, soft tissues, because we place these threads gently under the skin in soft tissues. We are not going too deep. It's not a smooth layer. And we are repositing and lifting these threads through the punctures. We don't need cutting on the skin to introduce these threads. We just use 2 or 3 punctures, like we are doing the same for the fillers, for example. Some methods of fillers injection, we use cannulas for them. So the idea is the same. We are using cannulas. It's a round tip cannula. It's not traumatizing, so it's minimally invasive for the patient. And we are introducing from 2 to 10 threads for each side of the face. And we can lift tissues. We can volumize tissues in cheekbone area, for example. We can make more straight and more prominent jawline. But also the idea of the thread is not only the lifting. We also can work for the quality of the skin, because we have absorbable thread material, and this thread absorbs in 2 years after the procedure. And during these 2 years, we have very nice biorevitalization effect, because we see some collagen tissue creation during these 2 years while the thread stays under the skin. So it's very important to think for biorevitalization and lifting both.
So would you say that the thread acts like a piece of Velcro, gently lifting the tissue and holding it?
Yes, exactly. It works the same. The idea is the same.
And how did your father discover thread lifting?
He is a plastic surgeon, and he have big experience with facelifts. And then he realized that many patients, they come for the consultation, but they didn't make appointment for the facelift, because on the consultation they was very scary about general anesthesia and the big scar and risks of facial nerve damaging and other complications. So he realized that there is a big group of patients who are not ready for facelift, but they don't have any other opportunity to increase their result. So then he was thinking about threads. He started his experiments with threads in 1987. And around 5 years, he was discovering the best type of thread. And at that time, he started with non-absorbable material, with Marlen. And he made barbs by himself. And first patient with thread lifting in the world was my mom at that time. And yes, and now she's 75. She looks great without facelift. But anyway, the main great thing that he realized that his group of the patient for the facelift didn't reduce after he invented and started thread lifting. He found many new patients. Patient found him for the thread lifting. So now we see that if, for example, we have a new doctor who starts threads in his practice, he don't advise this procedure for the same patients. He can achieve new group of patients for this procedure. So many patients they can't do facelift. They are not so much happy with too much fillers and toxins because they want to stay natural. So they need something more. And this is the idea of threads. This is how my father developed. She developed these threads in his laboratory in the clinic, and then he tried it on my mom's, then on nurses, volunteers, and so on. Of course, it was, just imagine, it was the beginning of 90s. And then we create a manufacturing, and now we have good manufacturing in Europe, in Georgia, and in Germany. And now we have a lot of methods dedicated to thread lifting.
Wow, it's just remarkable. And one would assume as a specialist plastic surgeon, informed consent is very important. And with that comes all of, like you said, the complications that can happen, with a facelift and the downtime and everything else. So thread lifts is just an incredible alternative for patients who don't want to go down that path. Are there any other areas of the body that can be treated with threads?
Yeah, we can treat some areas. So for example, stomach area in case of small wrinkles, or it works really very nice for the arm, for arm lifting. But we need to understand that face tissues, they are not so heavy like body tissues. And the area of the body is bigger, and it's more difficult for threads to achieve great results in all indications. So it's very important to adjust this method for the patient that you have during the consultation. It's very important to understand indications and contraindications and choose the right method. So it works for the body, but not in all cases.
And how long have Aptos threads been available in Australia and New Zealand?
Oh, for many years. Yes, it's more than 6 years. And we have great trainers here, Aptos trainers, because we are not just selling threads. We make a lot, pay attention for the education program, for the workshop. It's impossible for doctor just to come and buy the threads. They need to have workshop 2 or 3 times. They should be certified by Aptos. And only after that they are allowed to buy threads and to do this procedure, because I think experience is and preparation for this procedure is very important. As for any other procedure, nobody will start doing facelift or any injection without education, right? Same with threads. It's very important to receive this information. So here in Australia, doctors who I met, they are really great. They have very good experience. They are skilled well. They are very smart. And I'm really proud that we have these doctors here. And now they are our friends, not just doctors or partners.
Yes, I do know within the industry, Mara's trips overseas are very popular. Everybody wants to get on one of those trips because
Yeah,
of
she's
the
great.
yes, the remarkable level of training is unmatched. So with that, which is obviously a huge advantage of Aptos thread lifts, could you run us through a few other benefits of or advantages, I should say, of Aptos threads as opposed to other thread lifting methods on the market?
Okay, I'll start with advantages of our company, which is very important, I think, because our company exists more than 25 years, and my father is an inventor of the method, not just the Aptos method. He is inventor of thread lifting method at all. He is the inventor of this big direction of industry. So he is a plastic surgeon, and me and my brother too, and we are holders of the company. That means that we care about quality. That means that we care about the product. It's not just about the business. We think about this in future, and we know how to develop new products. We are not just copying somebody or selling the same product that someone did before. So we are improving, of course, our skills and our product. And the main advantage of our company is our trainers. And we have hundreds of great trainers, great doctors all over the world. We have trainers for more than 90 countries in the world, and they give us many great new ideas, and we are developing these ideas on our manufacturing. This is one more advantage of our company, that we have our manufacturing, and we can prepare any type of thread and any type of material for new idea. And these all together gives us opportunity to share this information to other doctors. But the advantage of the method is that we don't have only one thread for everything. We have many different type of products, many different techniques, and this big range gives us possibility to fit the method to the patient and indication and what they want. I mean, sometimes patients come just for the brows or for the nose, and we have special method and special thread exactly for their age and exactly for their indication.
Since 2010, Mara Aesthetics has provided Australian and New Zealand clients with state-of-the-art, cutting-edge products in the field of minimally invasive cosmetic surgery. Mara Aesthetics is committed to adding value to their clients by providing products and services that produce exceptional, natural aesthetic results whilst ensuring patient satisfaction. With a focus on training excellence, their dedicated training facility, South Pacific Cosmetic Academy, is an integral support arm for their products and services, providing their clients with the ability to achieve superior patient outcomes. To learn more, visit www.maraaesthetics.com.
I think all other companies that are selling now threads, they have just one or two products. They don't have big range of training courses. They don't have so much trainers, and they use just one or two thread for everything. That's why it's very important to see the difference. When you have big experience, you can see the difference, really.
And Dr. Konstantin, can you explain a little bit more about how Aptos can also help medical patients For instance, patients who have had a stroke or have had some sort of nerve condition that's left them obviously disfigured and puts them into obviously that category of being a medical patient and issue as opposed to an aesthetic patient.
Yeah, we are helping a patient with face palsy for 15 years, and we have thousands of these patients. We have many friends, oculoplastists and neurologists, and we are sharing with the patients. They are sending us a lot of patients. And these threads really helps them to improve not only aesthetical part. Of course, we are making more symmetrical face in their cases. We can improve aesthetical part. You know, their problem, the biggest problem is asymmetry, because one side of the face it comes down because there is no mimically active parts on the face. Nerve is just stopped, so we can help them to make better symmetry for their face. And of course functional problem too, because many of them they have dry eye syndrome, for example, because eyelid comes down. They have problems with food or drinks because there is no firmness on the cheeks and jawline. So we can improve nicely this problem with the thread. And in this case, I should say that thread works even better than in healthy patients, because you know, their tissues, the tissues of the patients with face palsy is very weak, and this result stays for many years. So we are really happy that we can help such kind of patients, and we can do it also here. We did this procedure yesterday. We correct brow asymmetry after nerve damaging, and we did it for our friend and colleague. He's a surgeon too, and it's a great thing. I'm really happy that colleague who knows what is it, and he knows the method, and he trusts and he believes in this method, and he's happy with the result.
That's truly life-changing. Really, really incredible. And for a patient who is considering having thread lift, can you explain in a little bit more depth the actual conditions that a thread lift can treat, what a patient can achieve through thread lifting?
I think the best patient for thread lifting is a patient from 35 to 45 years old, male or female, doesn't matter in this case. A patient who wants to improve something on their face to make to have a better rejuvenation effect than with regular injections. We can combine it with injection, or we can do it separately, or it could be other group of the patients, more young patients who want just some kind of reshaping, for example, brow lift, and it's very trendy now to open the eyelid and to lift the brow, or to increase and to volumize the cheekbone area without fillers injection, or chin, for example, chin correction. It's also very nice for reshaping of lower part of the face. Or it could be also the older group of the patient who will never go for the facelift, and they want just to improve a little bit, and they are happy even with the small result. So I think before any patient will go for the surgical facelift, they should just go for the consultation for the threads to understand what is the difference. And maybe it will be a good choice for them to postpone facelift, or even do it maybe later, or never do it. But it's not a alternative to facelift. Even in our clinic, we are doing facelifts, surgical facelifts, and we love surgical facelifts, deep plane or smash lift or skin lift only. But of course we do also thread liftings for the other group.
And Dr. Konstantin, I'm not sure if you're aware, but in Australia we have had three documented cases of irreversible blindness from filler injections. So there's quite a large community of people, doctors, medical professionals, obviously, and nurses who don't like doing filler in the nose area. What can threads do to help in reshaping the nose and obviously create a sense of safety for the patient and the practitioner?
Yeah, this is one of the problems, not only in Australia, all over the world. The risk of embolization with fillers injection in the nose, it's a big risk, and it's very difficult to deal with it. But with threads, we can do the same as we can do with fillers, and even more. We can lift the tip of the nose, we can feel the nasal bone, nasal dorsum area, and of course we can achieve great results with the threads on the nose. And again, I should say that it's not alternative to the classical surgical rhinoplasty. I do this surgery. I love rhinoplasty, but threads helps me in many cases. Even after rhinoplasty, sometimes, rhinoplasty is a big surgery and we have a risk of complication. And sometimes we can correct this complication with threads. And also thread could help us not only in aesthetical way, it could help us in functional way, because we can correct, for example, a nasal valve problem. Some patients, they have a collapse of the nostrils when the nostrils were very weak. So we can do many things, great things for them.
And are there any possible adverse effects from having thread lifting or undergoing a thread lifting procedure?
Yeah, of course, any procedure can have any complication. You said about blindness cases after filler. Fillers are very easy procedure, and when we just think about it, it's so difficult to believe in it that easy procedure could give us the risk of blindness, and it's so risky. And of course, any procedure could give us some risk of complication. In case of threads, it could be, for example, conturation of the thread. It happens when the thread is located very superficially, or in case if patient has very thin skin. So it's very important to choose the right thread for right patient and do it in the right way. That's why it's very important to have good workshop for the doctor. They should understand the layer, and they should understand which thread they should use for exact patient. I can say that the other side effects are maybe hypercorrection in nearest 5 days to 7 days after the procedure. For example, to lift the brow in good position, at the beginning, we need to lift even more for 20 to 30%. So at the beginning, for example, brow lift looks a little bit unnatural, and position of the brow is too much high. But in nearest 1 week, it settles down, it relaxes a little bit, and we see very natural effect. And of course, some edema or very rare bruises, very rare. In some cases, patient can feel some, maybe it's just a little bit pain, like discomfort more, and they can use painkiller in nearest 2 days, for example. It helps very nicely. I can't say that there are, thanks God, not too much complications, but these are the most things that we need to care about.
And you mentioned earlier that Aptos invests heavily in research and development. What do you see the future of threads doing? Are there different areas on the body, different new threads that are possibly coming out?
Yeah, of course. We have many new ideas, and we work on these ideas on our manufacturing. I think we are really great now in lifting effect. Barbs works very nice, and we have many different products. And also the formula of the thread is great. It gives us biorevitalization effect, but I think that we can work more in this direction. I think that in future thread material will change, and it will be even more interesting than now. It will give us better biorevitalization effect. It will work better for the skin quality, for the skin color. For example, I think we will have soon this thread in Australia. We are waiting for some certification, but in Europe, we are using thread with hyaluronic acid now for 1 year. And we developed this thread around 5 years ago, and we were waiting for the researches. And now we know that it's a great thread. We have all certifications in Europe, but we are waiting in Australia. And the thread with hyaluronic acid, of course, give us even more biorevitalization effect. So I think the future of thread lifting is combination with the different materials and giving many solutions for rejuvenation, chemical rejuvenation for the biorevitalization effect.
I have a question for you that I think you've actually already answered, which is why are Aptos threads different to other threads? Did you want to add anything to what you've already said or elaborate in regards to the differences with Aptos threads?
I think we said everything. I don't like competition at all, and I think all companies who produce good quality product and interesting method with good results, they will all have doctors and patients and fans and so on. They will all work good, but we can see many companies who started 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or a few years ago, and now they are not in the market because they was not ready for the market because of their manufacturing, or because of the techniques, or because some doctors didn't believe in them. It's very important to understand that you can't stay in one place. You should develop something new, because everything develops around us. We have many new trends and many new material and many new techniques in surgery and in injections. And of course, with threads, we can't stay in one place. Now, when we just started 25 years ago, we was alone. And many doctors, they didn't believe in threads because it was just only one company who produced. And we was the only one company and doctors who participated in conferences, and we had some lectures and so on. But now, if you go to any conference all over the world, you will see that conference lasts for 3 days, and minimum 1 day you have full day about threads. So just imagine where we are now. I think in future we have a lot of space to develop even better product for our patients, first of all.
Absolutely. And obviously, Aptos are world leading and have won all of the major awards and trophies in thread lifting excellence, and have a training program like no other, which is very popular in Australia and New Zealand. We have a lot of doctors who attend Mara's various training calendar. And Mara often talks about traveling overseas, and a lot of doctors talk about traveling overseas. If any of the Australian doctors were to go to the Aptos headquarters for training, what could they expect?
Yeah, doctors from Australia, traditionally they are coming each year to Georgia, sometimes 3 months, one time in 3 months. So many times we are really happy to host our friends and colleagues from Australia in our country, and they saw our manufacturing. We had a lot of hands-on trainings on Georgian patients, and it's really great opportunity for us and for Australian doctors. So I think in future we will have more trainers, we will have more doctors here in Australia, and of course they will have great opportunity to see everything in Georgia. Next year we'll have we are planning to go to host in Georgia big group doctors from Australia, because we are doing a conference each year there, and next year we'll have conference for around almost 2,000 doctors from all over the world. And we will have anatomical class also for dissection to see even better what we are doing with threads. So I think I should say thanks to Mara for a great opportunity for Aptos, and great opportunity for our trainers to organize everything that she is doing. It's great in the clinic, practice, theory, and even after the medical part, this social life and speaking after the training course, just speaking in friendly, like speaking like friends about this, and sharing experience. It's really great thing. It gives more motivation, and we feel more, we feel stronger, feel as a family, and we support each other. I feel that doctors here, they support each other. Doctors, I mean, Mara Aesthetics and Aptos doctors, it's a great family, and they support each other. So it's very important to have support and such kind of partners and friends in Australia. This is why Aptos is good now, because we have such partners and such trainers.
Yes. Oh, Mara absolutely loves Aptos, always has. And I think even before Aptos, Mara was always drawn to innovation, education, and experience. They've always been the three pillars, which I believe are also three pillars of Aptos, have always been what has resonated with Mara. She's very, very well known in the industry, and extremely well regarded and trusted. We absolutely love seeing her at conferences, because she's so passionate and so excited about Aptos threads. And of course, Dr. Sam Botros, Dr. Hugo Ho, they are just so passionate. They absolutely live, John Holbrook, live, breathe, and advocate for Aptos at every possible opportunity. I can't thank you enough for your time. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Mara, before we let you go and enjoy your last night in Sydney?
The only thing I want to say is it's been an honour to have Dr. Konstantin Sulamanidze in Australia again, and he has enjoyed it as well. And all the Aptos family in Australia had a great training days for the last 2 days.
It was great.
So actually 3 days. Yeah. So, but thank you so much for your support, Nicole and ABIC.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nicole.
Bye.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Beauty by ABIC podcast, your online support community for the aesthetic and beauty industry. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay connected.